Hello, my name's Stuart, park runner here, 61 years old, 5K park runner. After a 40-year break, earlier in the year, in March, started running again, started doing a 5K park run and did no more training, just did the park run every week or every other week and got my time down after a few months of that from about 36 minutes down to 32 and a half minutes, but didn't really see myself making any progress as such. So decided to give it a bit of a go and start training properly, get out on the road, get myself some decent trainers and start slow and gradually build it up. So yeah, I started off running on like say Monday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. Then I would rest on a Friday, do the park run on a Saturday, rest on a Sunday, and then back to the same routine like that. So I did that for a while. I've not done any other training. My training runs, my road runs, have typically been sort of 3 to 4 miles. I've done a few sort of 6 and 7 mile runs, and because I thought that I would increase the distance. More distance is more sort of aerobic training, building up my stamina, and I thought that that would be a good way forward. However, I have to say that I haven't enjoyed running 6 or 7 miles. To me, it seemed like a kind of long, slow slog. And rather than go for the zone 2 training over longer distance, I've decided to do it old school, which is when I was in my cross country team at school. And then when I went to the athletics club a bit later on, all the training was pretty hard. I mean, there was no zone 2 training. If we went out for a training run, we did a 10-mile training run running around the city. I mean, it was hard. It was a real challenge to get around, and there was no conversation going on during those training runs. And then, of course, we had the interval training and everything else. But I mean, the cross country team as well. I made my progress by hard training runs. I didn't make my progress by soft training runs. So the thinking seems to have changed that zone 2, if you can't have a conversation while you're running, then you're running too fast. I don't know. I've tried that and I've seen fairly slow progress. So when I started training, my progress was quite slow. I got my time down from 32 and a half minutes. A few weeks later, after training, it was down to about 31 minutes. Then it was down to just over 30 minutes. And I've sort of been chipping away at it. And I've eventually got it down to 28 minutes 11. And then last week around 28 minutes. And I decided to try something a little bit different. I've been kind of upping my pace rather than no more 7-mile runs, no more long running, although for me that's long running. No, I'm going to run higher quality runs, about 3.5 to 4 miles. I'm going to run 4 days straight, Monday to Thursday, rest on a Friday, and then do the park run on a Saturday. I'm going to see how far I can go like that, running 5 days a week, see how I can keep improving. Now, if you look here at my spreadsheet, which I've got, it goes back to the 27th of August. So we've got here distance, these are all kilometers, 11.89 kilometers. Yeah, this was a long one, which I ran at 6 minutes at 11 per kilometer. And now this is on the 1st of September. I did my first sub 1 hour 10K. Here we are, 5 minutes 59. This is the 1st of September. And the time was 1:02:37 for 10.46K. I went out the next day and did the same run, and I ran slightly slower, 6:14 per kilometer. So I've kind of noticed that pattern that at the start of the week, after I've had my day's rest on a Sunday, I'll run fairly quick on Monday, and then it will kind of tail off a bit towards the end of the week. I'd like to be running through the week consistently rather than it tailing off. And that seems to have come to fruition. That seems to be happening, which I'm really pleased about. Okay, so at Clifton in Nottingham on the 6th of September, I ran 29 minutes 04 for 5K. That was an all-grass course. So I'd already run 28 minutes 11 on a half grass, half concrete course. So, 29:04 wasn't a bad time. And then on the 8th of September, I went out and I ran nearly 12K in 1 hour 14 minutes, 6 minutes 12 per kilometer. Okay, so I've been trying to sort of up the distance, and then at Girvan in Scotland on the 13th of September, I ran 28 minutes 41, half a minute off my best time for that same course. It was very windy that day. That's the reason everybody's times were slower. So I decided to try and run faster I decided to stop the long runs and just sort of run 5 or 6K, 7K maybe at the most during the week, and try and get under 6 minutes per kilometer. So you can see here, 15th of September, 5:46 per K, 16th, 5:33, 17th, 5:52, and then on the 18th, the last day, 6:04. So I've been sort of getting thereabouts. If you think that my peak time when I'm doing my 5K park runs, when I'm trying to push it a bit, is usually about sort of 5:40, 5:45 or 5:40, then 5 minutes 50 is actually quite a fast training run. It's like, I think, zone 3, isn't it? It's fairly close to my sort of best peak time. Now, I run these training runs aiming to put some effort in, not for it to be easy and fun all the way. I want to sort of stretch myself just a little bit, but kind of inside the serious pain zone, because I want the training runs to be kind of nice so that I feel like going out and doing them. Okay, now this last week I wasn't able to do the park run on the Saturday for various reasons. So I ran Monday to Friday, and you'll see here I ran at Girvan again, and I ran 28:01. That's my best time for 5K. Yeah, that was after running 4 days in a row, 15, 16, 17, and 18. I rested on the 19th, and I ran my best time, 28:01. It was a little bit windy, so I knocked 10 seconds off my best time. And then on the 22nd, between the 22nd and the 26th, because I knew I wasn't going to be running on 27th and 28th at the weekend, I decided to run 5 days in a row. This is the first time I've done this since I came back into running, 5 days straight. So how did I run? So on the 17th, I did nearly 6K at 5:52 per kilometer. The next day, 6.6K at 6:04. And sorry, I'm a bit mixed up here. No, let's go from the 22nd. 6:47, 6.47K, 5:42, 6.5K, 5:59. Inside that magic for me 6 minute pace. 5:83, 5.83K, done at 5:43. So that is getting quite close to my personal best time. That's like a 28.5 minute 5K time, right? And then on the 25th, I ran 5:52. So you can see my times are not collapsing towards the end of the week. Yeah, and in fact, here we can see on the 26th of Friday, I ran at 5:41, which was quite a fast run, but I felt like I had plenty left in the tank. I feel like I'm getting stronger. I feel like my style is improving. I feel more like I'm bouncing along and not dragging myself along, that my legs have got strength in them and bounce, and I'm not dragging 2 lumps of lead, which is what it felt like when I started off in this. Okay, so on the 27th and 28th, I rested. Well, I say I rested. I helped somebody to move in, and I painted a house Saturday and Sunday. So, I mean, that was that was hard work. I'd rather go out and run than do that. Okay, so 29th today, I went out and I ran 6.5K, and I set a new 5K PR, personal record, 27:37 at 146 BPM. And, that was definitely a zone 3 run. It didn't feel difficult. Felt like I had loads of energy in my leg after a 2-day rest. And I just went out there. I ran the first mile in about 9:03. Second mile was about 9:06. And then the third mile was something like 8 minutes 50, and the last mile was about, I think, 8:41 or something. And I actually speeded up towards the end, and it gave me a 5K time of 27:37. Okay, it was all on concrete, all on roads, no grass, so I don't know how that compares with my 28:01 at Girvan, which was half grass and half concrete, but I think that's a pretty good training run, and I felt fine afterwards. I felt like I could have gone on for a few K more at that speed. So, I mean, I've ditched zone 2, I've upped my game, higher quality runs, less distance, and I'm going to try and just keep pushing it and pushing it, see how far I can go. If I get to the stage where my times for 5K are not improving, then I'll revise. I don't want to do interval training at this stage. Maybe in the second year, if I'm still going, I'll progress onto interval training, but I think I'm well on course for achieving 25-minute 5K, maybe by the end of the year. So today felt like a breakthrough. Today felt like, it felt a lot more like I was in control of my running today. And I didn't really find it difficult at all running a personal record. So it's almost like somehow I've run all the cobwebs out of my legs now, and I'm almost feeling like my old self. I don't think I'll ever get back to running 10 miles in 1 hour, which is what I did do when I was 20 years old. I'll never get back to that kind of level again, but maybe I can get to a 20-minute 5K. We'll see. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching, and let me know what you think. Are you zone 2 training, or are you zone 3? What are you doing? How is it working for you? Okay, thank you. Goodbye.